forgot about that. And welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway here in the Racers Elite. You see the starting grid is already pulled up. I'm joined by Brandon here tonight. Going to run down the order, though. John Ross, first. Second, Andrew Teff, third. Sean Cochran, fourth. Barry Nelson, fifth. Sean Burke, sixth. Terry Fennell, seventh. Brian LaPratt, eighth. Alan Carter, ninth. Kirby Wainscott, 10th. Blake Davis, 11th. Brandon San Filippo, 12th. Rick Kennedy, 13th, Brandon Biddy. 14th, Brandon McGraw. 15th, Pete Polini. 16th, Steve Vest. 17th, Kyle Hess. 18th, Dennis Kane. 19th will be Frank Chavez. 20th, Steve Sizemore. 21st, Steve Castle. 22nd, Chris Goxel. And 23rd, Jack Kelly. But, Brandon, what do you expect to see here tonight at Charlotte?
Well, I don't expect that we're going to see what we saw last night. Absolutely, right? Last night was just absolutely calamity at the finish. But tonight, these truckers are gonna lay it out here on the line under the lights of Charlotte, and I think tonight we're going to see a really, really good race. This truck races well here. In fact, it races well at most mile and a half, so we'll be able to see some outside runs generated, especially off of 1 and 2. I suspect the outside line 3 and 4, even the low line. I expect to see a lot of side-by-side racing tonight.
Yeah, I don't really know what to expect from these trucks. I do know that they're running the high horsepower, low horsepower, high downforce package here, so it definitely is a lot. It's really draft reliant. I need to open my trading paints too. I just realized that, so these guys can get an actual paint refresh for that, as looks like everybody has gridded. So we are waiting for them to get there, and they have now. So I thought they were rolling off. They kept kind of edging their way up there. And my trading paints will not let me reset. So there we go. It's actually doing it on its own now.
Yeah, so what a qualifying run by our first two, right? John Ross, Andrew Teft. John is, I've raced with John back in the day and racing with Andrew. This is going to be a fun battle to watch with John Ross and Andrew Taft, as long as they can keep their trucks clean and pointed in the right direction. But then you got Cochran. I've never seen Cochran run here in Racers Elite. You may have Bryce, but then you got Barry Nelson and Sean Burke, and I know those guys are pretty quick. So pretty good solid top 5.
It'll be interesting here. It's 100% fuel, 134 laps. So if I'm guessing if they can go halfway, they'll go to lap 68-ish, somewhere around there, kind of in that, yeah, probably around in that area. They can most likely go to probably lap 72 to 74, I would say, around that. So we'll see what they'll do. I don't know what tire fall off is going to be. I think this should turn into a multi-groove racetrack, though. We'll see guys on the bottom and the high line. Most of them will probably be around this first seam, though. You can run up against the wall. That's actually what they do in the next gens a lot. They run up against the wall at this track. But Pace Truck does pull off here. Be Ross and Teft leading them to green, as the green flag is in the air. We are underway here. Goes late in the restart zone. 44 does control the start.
Yeah, he does a beautiful job. You know, he was super late in the restart zone. However, I think these guys have to start on the green. I think, Bryce, don't we? Is that what we typically do?
Yes, I was going to say, when I said that, I knew that was wrong. I think you can't beat the leader, though. I think. I'll give you a black flag.
But nonetheless, we already see these guys spinning out and headed towards the outside of turns 3 and 4. As you can see, the 196 there. We see him several times throughout the week racing here in Racers Elite and making that high side work already, as he's already up a couple of positions.
See, so we got some guys that are running. Oh, that was almost going to end up really bad there. I don't know who that was. We already have a wreck here, because Jack Kelly has went off the course. This is probably got a little bit of context. He may have been on the bottom and got ran over, possibly. Nope, looks like there's a checkup here. Nope, looks like he did get run over. I was correct. Dude, that Ford just got in there really deep, and the 38 looks like he's just not able to save it after that. Kind of just rolls down to the inside, hits the wall a little bit. I don't think that'll be too bad of damage, but that's a quick caution here early on, which is not good to see if you're the 38. But this will stretch their fuel a little bit, just a little bit further, so they'll probably go to about lap 80 something around there.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're going to have a caution and you are the 38, Jack Kelly, this is the perfect time, right? Now you get to come down pit road. You're going to have plenty of time to work on that race truck. Hopefully, not have to use that fast repair. So yeah, I think this is the right. You know, if you want it to happen, this is the right place for it to happen.
See what he will do. Looks like Cochran will also come down. He's got no damage. This would be a fuel play. Oh 06, the 4's probably checking for damage. Looks like on his, because I know he's probably going to have... I would be, if I was him, and if you can't see it, because some people will actually, and I'm one of them, they'll disable their spotters and they'll use crew chief instead. I don't think he says the damage, so the 4 can't actually see as the 38 slid through his box. So that will send about 4 people down pit road now.
So right now we got John Ross, Andrew Teff, Barry Nelson, Terry Fennell, Alan Carter. That's going to be our top 5. And then you got Sean Burke, Kirby Wayne Scott, Brandon Sanfilippo, Brian LaPratt, Blake Davis. That's going to be the next 5. That's 6th through 10th. We got Blake Davis in a race with us tonight, Bryce. The 11 in the 11 truck. He had a very eventful super speedway race last night, to say the least.
Yeah, I called him a little host of our, and I don't even know what happened during that race last night. That's, to be honest with you, that was, yeah, that was just, it was a race. It was kind of weird. Nobody, yeah.
For the fans at home, me and Bryce talked about this, right? After the race last night. And we both equally told each other, we we wasn't for sure how to call that last lap. So, yeah, when you get the commentators, kind of sidetracked and dumbfounded at what to call, it's a wild finish nonetheless. So, I don't think we'll have that tonight, though, Bryce.
Well, I mean, never say never. I wasn't surprised. Let me turn my mic down a little bit. I wasn't surprised by the wreck, coming out of 2. I really wasn't, but I knew they were going to wreck in 3 and 4 because the way he was coming, at him. But it's just, it looked like he almost got taken out to a certain extent, but I know he didn't. But I was like, what are we doing? I don't know. It's the racer in me too was just so baffled by what I just saw. I was like, that really just happened on iRacing. Which there's some weird stuff that can happen on this sim, but that was one of the weirder things for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's what caught me off guard too, right? Was the racer side of me. And so we walk a fine line when we do commentary / race, right? Because the racer in us wants to call things one way, but the commentator side of us has to call it a completely different way. So, yeah. John Ross is elected to take the outside, though, Bryce. This is an interesting call. I want to see how this plays out. Now, he'll be the control car for the restart. So, I think this is an okay move, but I want to see how much this outside line can generate.
It'll be interesting. I'm like Jeff Gordon and before he retired, he was one of the worst people at restarts. I can't restart worth the crap. So it'll be interesting to see if this 44 gets going. The start is on him, which is the one thing that you have if you are the leader. That car below you can't fire off. You can also kind of make sure they're not rolling getting into it. You can just slow down a lot further. Like that 44, he's actually Teft is going to try to roll it here. Nope, looks like that 44 he was just way ahead. Thought Teft was going to try to time it, but it looks like Teft was way off there on that restart, and that 44 will just jump out to a decent lead now. He'll have that pretty easy for him.
Yeah, now we're going to see 2x2x2 through the rest of the field. You got Fennell outside of Teft. I think Teft actually cleared there. In fact, he did. But then if you take a look back through the field, they're still 2x2x2 as they head into 3.
Kind of looking around Nelson, the Wonder Bread 196. We got the 93. He's ripping that higher line, trying to get it going up there. The 37's with them too. He's trying to get to that quarter panel. Can't quite get there. We'll shut that off. As we got somebody around behind that looks like, oh, here's a big one. The 47, the 2, the 11, the 30, the 707s. I heard the tires screeching. Need to turn off those notifications. Get a notification for every time somebody got passed. So, oh, that 2 is going to come up and clip Blake Davis. Davis he can't do anything right here. He's basically just sliding. 2 comes right back up the track, right in the path of the 101. 30 gets involved. The 47's got nowhere to go. The 1 can't go anywhere. I think the 13 may be fine. How did the 86 get through that? Kyle Hess looks like he's squeezing his way through there. We just slow down in time, and like he makes it through without a scratch.
Nicely done. Well, take away everything I said at the beginning of this race. I thought this race would be a lot more calmer for a mile and a half in these trucks. I obviously have no idea what I'm talking about because it's been wild within the first 8 laps of this race. So take away everything I said.
Yeah, you can only guess sometimes. You think it's going to be calm, and then they just throw their brains out the window. It depends. Sometimes it's like that in, leagues. I think leagues are a little bit better than, normal races like fixed and open, but gosh, some of the opens or some of the fixed are absolutely horrible with cautions. But these guys I mean, it is 9 laps, and they have 2 cautions so far, but I think they'll settle down and realize, hey, we've got a really, really long time left in this race. We don't have to go crazy with it. Most of these guys will pop their fast repair. That 4 is destroyed. Oh, we got a Bungles car up there. Who is that? Shame on you, Sizemore. Shame on you.
Took me a second. I was curious of what you was talking about when you said the Bungles, and then I seen the trucks, so I was like, okay, makes sense. We see a lot of these paint schemes out tonight, though, right? I mean, there was someone that was repping an LSU truck here just a little bit ago.
Yeah,
No, I don't remember who that was.
Speaking of LSU, they better beat Clemson because I got a bet on them to beat Clemson. So LSU, I'm counting on you to beat them. You think they're actually in field goal range right now, but I think that's the only one. We got a KFC car or car, same thing. I think that's the only sports related. That might be. Is that one right there? No. It's the only other sports car in here. I just hit the pause button. It's like, I think lights will go off on the pace truck here, though, and they will, so they will get the green next time by, and Ross is going to choose the bottom here, so he's switching it up every time, not letting them, figure out where he's going here, trying to make him guess. I don't really think either lane restarts differently, so it really doesn't matter.
Is the 44 and the 50 teammates?
Let's look. They're in the same Discord. Be Ross. 44, and I don't
see John Ross, so
I don't see him.
I thought maybe that would have been by design, right? Because the last time the 50 lined up behind the 44, and so I was thinking maybe it was the same. It was like a teammate move, but chances are probably not. It's just John playing mind games and switching everything up. So
yeah, that's what it looks like from there. It's just, if you can choose, why not choose? Watch, I'm actually going to try to make my OBS a little bit bigger just so I can see this race. There we go. I really need to get a 4th monitor. Pace car is getting ready to pull in here. 10 laps in, 2 cautions so far. I'm going to update on the real life race. Shocker, Connor Zillich is leading the race, dominating so far, as they're going to enter the restart zone here. As the green flag is in the air, we are back underway.
Yeah, we're going to be back green. Now, John Ross is going to extend that lead, but the 50 gets a really good restart on Tef this time. That last restart, the 50 wasn't able to do anything with it. Now, Andrew Teff's going to hold his weight here on the outside. They're going to have a good run down that back straightaway. 3 wide, Bryce.
Looks like the 50 is going to be put 3 wide here for just a second. See if he can hold that position. Looks like he'll lose both of them. And I almost wonder with how Teff's is starting, if he's starting in second because he's worried about spinning the tires, as somebody just smoked the wall. I think that was 86 behind, but Teff is not getting. We got another wreck behind. That's the 47 and 707. See what happened with them. At 47's loose. Chasing it around. The 707 is just an innocent bystander. Look, oh my gosh, look at this 707 right here for a second. This truck tries to flip. If I can get a good angle of it. You see it start to lift up. The front end lifts up, and that's on 2 wheels right there for a minute. Truck turns back around, and it sets back down finally, but it did try to flip there.
It was definitely want to get airborne.
Teft is waiting for the... I was going to say, he's waiting for the caution car to come by.
Say probably the pace car, ain't it?
Yeah, I think that's what he was waiting for. It's always weird when you don't get back to the start finish line because it just messes with everything. Are they still waiting for it? I think they are. Yeah, everything's completely messed up right now. Where is the caution? There it is.
So this has been a very unique start to this race, right? So right now we've had 3 cautions within the first 13 laps. We'll be completing 13 here once the pace car gets caught up to John Ross here, our current leader, and they get back around. That's very unlike Racers Elite. So I suspect these guys are going to figure this out. They're going to settle in, and we'll see some green flag racing. But right now, this does nothing but help the fuel strategy for sure. So save, run long.
Ross is almost came to a complete stop here, it looks like, at this point. He's still waiting for the truck to catch him. Wow, I don't know. This timing is completely messed up. I don't think pit road is open either.
This is wild. This has been a wild night. All right, there's the pace truck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was waiting for it. I was like, this is taking him a long time. Just had the pace truck catch him.
Yeah, and the lights is out on the pace truck. So we had 2 pace laps with letting the pace truck get caught up. And then John Ross is going to choose the outside here. So again, it's just a mind thing. You know, he inside, outside, inside, outside. He's just having a good time behind the wheel of that race truck.
Will be 14 laps of 134 done. Let's push their fuel a little bit further. So probably upper 80s now for their laps that they can run. Some guys came and topped off in lap 8, lap 3, lap 7. So they're a little bit different on fuel also.
It's like Frank Chavez, in terms of lead lap cars right now. It's like Frank Chavez was on pit road at lap 12, so he's recently been down.
Yeah, he was on, looks like lap 12, like you said. Pace truck will finally pull in here though after we have that really weird extended caution because of where it had to catch the whole field. As the green flag is in the air, we are back underway here. Teft does not get a good restart, but everybody else in that outside line doesn't get a good restart either. So I think Teft is going to be able to hold his position for now, and looks like he will.
Yeah, he will. He'll be able to hold the position here, but it was almost like the inside line checked up, and it kind of stacked them all up. The outside line didn't get going either. I don't know. It was a weird looking restart, but yeah, Teft will be able to fall in line and assume that second position. Him and Nelson's going to take that high side though through 3 and 4.
Nelson got a pretty big run and going to try to get to the outside of Teft. I think Teft is going to try to maybe fake him out here a little bit. Yes, he's going to run a little bit lower. Actually going to give Nelson the outside, so he's going to let Nelson roll it if he wants to. And Nelson's almost got the quarter panel. I thought he was going to have it coming off the corner. Got no other choice but to give Teft a shove down the front stretch now because of that.
Now Nelson's the one guy that we've seen inside the top, say 5-10, really dedicate to running out outside, and so he's made a couple positions up, being able to do that. Let's see if he does it again this time. In fact, he's not.
Biggest mover right now, though, is Jack Kelly. He's up 13 positions. We already have, looks like, 3 competitive cars, or 3 competitive trucks pretty much out of contention. Already laps down here, but Teft is going to power move to the outside of Ross, and he's going to almost get put in the wall there. Nelson did get in the wall. I think that did hurt the side of his truck a little bit. But Teft got to the outside, and looks like he's going to try to take the lead here from Ross. I think he'll get it, too.
Yeah, and he will. What a power move on the outside. But I tell you, Barry Nelson just absolutely smoked that outside wall on the exit. And I'm looking at that truck, and it looks like it's got tons of right side damage. Just pancaked the daylights out of it. Yeah, you can see that steering wheel, Bryce, cocked all the way to the left right there. I don't think that's the normal setup in these trucks. Could be wrong.
No, that is definitely way too far to the left. That's definitely, I think that's knocked in the toe pretty heavily, and that's going to make that truck really, really, really tight. There's really nothing you can do besides, hope for a caution and try to get that damage fixed, because you're going to be struggling here to get that truck to turn.
Yeah, I see a lot of guys really flirting with disaster on the exit of 4 right there, where that wall kind of comes out that takes you into the tri-oval. I was just watching the 37 of Alan Carter, and that last time by, man, he just about smoked that outside wall on exit of turn 4 too. So several of these guys I've been watching through the field, they're really, really close on that exit of that corner. And one mistake here and you can ruin your entire race.
Yeah, it's gutsy to, I mean, that's where all the speed is, and it definitely is gutsy to run up there. It's kind of, once you jump the cushion, you're in the wall and you can't get pulled off of it. These guys are about to get a little bit racy back here around Nelson. You see the 11's trying to come up through the pack. It's Nelson, he's going to continue to drop. Nelson's running almost a second off the pace now with his damage.
Yeah, I'd say he's begging for a caution. We've had 3 quick ones, and he's begging for one, but I don't think he's going to get it right now. John Ross, though, is starting to put some pressure back on Andrew Teft. These guys put about 3, say 4 or 5 car lengths between them and the 3rd place running Alan Carter.
37's under attack here from Fennell. Fennell, he gave a look to the inside. He's going to get a pretty good exit off of 4 here. Not going to have enough to do anything with it, though, so he'll have to chase that 37 back down. I can see that 37's losing a little bit. I think Terry's running just a little bit higher, poking that right front out, getting some turn up under it. So you see that is the 10 of Wayne Scott getting up under San Filippo.
I'll tell you, Brandon Sanfilippo is one of those guys I like to watch, man. He's very smooth, very consistent, and does typically usually have a decent long run style of driving style to him. So keep an eye on him to see how this goes. Now, John Ross has since moved to the top here, Bryce, and he's been able to generate some runs. Still hasn't been able to catch that corner, though. He's going to take a look on the inside as they head into turn 3.
So I was watching the exit of 2 there, and he got off of 2 really good. He's going to wash up towards the wall. He's going to try to just pull a slide job move. Not able to get it. Sees he's going to side draft Teft. Not really going to side draft him too hard. He's going to stay closer to him. Going to give him a lot of room, though. I think Teft will be able to hold him off. Looks like he will. Nope, not quite. No, he'll be able to hold him off here, so Ross is going to have to. And thank you, Bet MGM, for reminding me that LSU screwed themselves in the end zone. Not need that notification for that, but Ross is going to have to try to mount a charge here again. I think he got a decent exit that time. He'll get within 2/10, so not close enough to make a move getting into 1 and 2. He's going to have to go way higher than Teft. If he can get the quarter panel in the corner, he'll be better off.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, right now, man, these trucks are they're just dead even now. He might be able to make this move work in 3 and 4 as he's it looks like he's got his court. He did not. So right now, Teft is able to work his truck wherever he wants to. Outside, inside, middle. Seems like he's got speed all over the racetrack.
Yeah, that 44 is going to get up under him. I was going to say, I was looking and I kept seeing Blake Davis flashing on my screen. Evidently, he brings out the caution. Where's he at in my board? There he is. Like that's coming off a 4 here. I say, I kept seeing Blake Davis went off track. That just looks like it's a racing incident there. Didn't realize that. I think that's 66 was there. Oh my gosh, I don't know who that was. It just flew by him, but they were lucky.
Huh?
Who was that?
That would have been one of them hits, Bryce, that would have made the force feedback feel super stupid in your steering wheel.
Oh my gosh. That is, yeah, you do not want to see that happen if you are the car behind him with that guy coming right back down the track. That will end your day for sure.
So, that's going to bring us to lap 28. Pit road's going to be open. Yeah, we're going to have some takers. Pretty much the whole field.
This will be 4 tires and fuel for these guys that are coming down. No one's going to take 2. That's going to be a weird move if you do that. I mean, more power to you, but I'd take multiple tires. Here, I wouldn't take just 2.
So no change up front. Teft will win the race off pit road. He's going to be followed by John Ross. So no change. You're going to have the 98, 44, 37. And then it looks like San Filippo maybe picked up a couple of spots on pit road. He's going to come out 4th. And then we're going to have Terry in 5th. That'll be the top 5.
Hold on, let me go. So we got a 2-tire stop here. Kelly, McGraw, and Sizemore. It looks like he sped. Never mind. And he pulls off to the side. Okay, I have no idea what's going off. Yeah, we do have some 2-tire stops here, but everybody else looks like they were 4 tires and fuel. I think this will get them to actually probably around lap 100 here at their fuel now.
So the lights will go out on the iRacing pace car this time, which means we're going to rack them, stack them. We're going to do it all over again. Now, I tell you, Bryce, that was a good little green flag run we had right there. We started to see a little bit of tire wear, which allowed multi-groove racing. We seen John Ross, Andrew Teft really battle it out up there. And then we seen, who was it? Terry putting on some pressure on the 37 or vice versa. So we get, 15, 20 laps onto a set of tires, man. The racing's really starting to come in for multi-groove.
And I'm somebody who likes to run the bottom, but in a running high, especially if you're loose, that'll actually kind of help your car. Unless the exit of the corners, the car, it does try to unload, so that you do tend to get a little bit loose coming off that. But running high when you're loose will help keep the tires up under you. Running on the bottom, if you're tight, will maybe help you get a little bit loose if you can get that rear to kick out. But this definitely is a multi-groove racetrack here. But we'll see if Teft can get a good restart. He's not been getting good restarts at all. And I want to go on board here with Teft. I think that's not what I wanted to see. Dashboard. That's what I want to see. So he's in 2nd. Ross is in 2nd. Does Ross shift down to 1st? I want to find out if he does, because I think he is. Second gear still. Second. He's still in 2nd, and I just saw the lights are still on the pace car.
Yeah. I was getting ready to let you know. Yeah, they extended it back out one more lap on us.
I was confused, and then I looked up actually because when we do that, we have to look at OBS because we don't actually see those overlays. But and I saw the lights, and I was like, oh, that's interesting there. know what that was for. I didn't see anybody, having issues on track, so maybe just been a race control call there instead. That is a possibility. They will get the green this time by, though, at least. Lights will go off on the pace car, the pace truck, and it will pull in here as the green flag is in the air, and Teft is able to get a good restart there on Ross. Ross, though, is able
not gonna. Yeah, go ahead, Bryce.
I was gonna say Ross is actually able to stay relatively close to him.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention. Was Tef got a really good restart, but he did not get away from John Ross the same way that Ross has been able to get away from him on those restarts. But now we got a 3-truck battle for the lead. Ross a little bit loose in the center right there. He's going to lose a little bit of ground, but him and Carter is going to be side by side for second.
37, see how hard he wants to fight there. Looks like he's going to try to get this position on Ross, but Ross is going to have a pretty big run on that outside. See that 37 get it really, really loose.
Ross was able to get to the outside of Andrew Teff there with a power move through 3 and 4, about the same way that Teff took it away from him before that last caution. So we're going to see what kind of run he gets off of the outside here. He should get a good run. But those 4 fresh tires that Teff's got's going to help him actually stay even here.
.37 gets in the wall there just a little bit, and Teff's going to get a massive run getting to Ross down the backstretch.
Yeah, I'm watching Teff's truck, and I think Andrew has a little bit better truck long run, which is notorious out of Andrew Teff. He likes to be able to save tire and mount good, solid long runs, and so I think he's going to just kind of play cool right here, just ride for a bit and bring the heat back to Ross here in, say, 10 laps or so.
The 44 and the 98. Still fighting down the backstretch.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks where you can have a lot of patience, right? You get some green flag runs going, you can have a lot of patience. You can settle in line, especially with this vehicle, with the truck series. You can just about run this place nearly wide open, and so you can be patient. You can back up the entries a little bit if you need to, if you want to, save tire without losing too much track position. So
Biggest mover. So sorry, I had somebody texting me. Kelly is up 13. He's actually in the record earlier. Castle is up 12. So that's a little bit of an incident there. That was the one that nicked the wall coming off.
yeah, and also Kyle Hess, the 86, currently our 5th place runner. He's also up 12 positions as well.
The 1, the 4, 38, the 196. That 196, I wonder if he got his damage fixed. I think he popped his fast repair. I don't see... No, he's getting that manually fixed. I can still see some at the very, very top there. Ross has gotten around theft.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on this gap with Carter, Sanfilippo, Hess. So you got Sanfilippo and Hess running with about a second gap difference between Sanfilippo and Carter. I've been keeping an eye on that, and it's slightly starting to shrink between the third and fourth place cars. So I think over the next 5-10 laps, we'll start to see tire wear really start to come into play here.
Yeah, I just don't know how much it's going to fall off because they've only lost about 0.3 right now at the moment. So it's not like they're falling off horribly, but some of them actually want to see what they run. So we got 30.2s right now at the moment here. .3, 30.4, 30.5.
I want to look. What sponsor is Kyle Hess carrying on the truck? Hess Gasoline.
I was going to say, is that actually a company?
I think it is because that Hess, that green Hess on the hood looks really familiar to me.
Yes, that is. That's an actual company. It's American Global Independent Energy Company. 1919 when it was founded. I had never heard of Hess, but evidently they're freaking rich. They got billions of dollars. I've never heard of that company before.
Yeah, so Sanfilippo is really starting to close in on the back of Alan Carter. Alan Carter's moved to the top. Sanfilippo's still running the bottom.
We got a caution out here.
I didn't see that. I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off there at all because I really didn't see anything big on the track. Okay. Oh no.
Not sure.
You blow up? Downshift. I don't know what happened there. That's a downshift gone wrong, but Ross will come down pit road. Hess will also. A little bit of strategy being played here, Brandon. So, if you were up there, would you have pitted? Because some people stayed out, some people came down pit road.
Well, I mean, these guys were last on pit road about lap 30, say 28:30. It's only about 15 laps. I don't know. I'd have probably stayed out here. Well, I'm not sure what just happened, but it looked like
we got Teft, Carter, Sanfilippo, Fennel, Wayne Scott, Burt, Castle. So they all stayed out. So it'll be a mix of tires here. It's going to be a 17 lap tire difference.
I'm kind of baffled right now.
What's
I
blowing
kind
your
of thought
mind?
with 15, well, I just kind of thought 15 laps was just a little bit too early to come down and they must have enough tires in the pits to waste a set. 15 laps just seems really short with this truck, though.
We're given 5 tires, 5 sets of tires, so got some people have been down 2 or 3 times, but I don't think they came down for tires. I think they came down just for damage. So I think that some guys still have a good amount of tires. I think that's actually more than what they need. 5 sets is a lot. I think you really only need 3, to be honest with you.
I think one of our front runners may have had some sort of an issue and has maybe parked his truck for the night. I'm not showing John Ross.
Yeah, he's not on the track. I didn't even realize that. In the Discord, if he said anything, I don't know what could have happened with him. That's interesting to see.
Well, that's going to turn the race back over to Teff, Carter, Sanfilippo, Fennell, Wayne Scott's going to be the top 5.
Yes, pace truck will pull in here as the green flag is in the air. We are back underway here now.
Oh, I think the 50 spun the tires and got into the wall. He's going to lose some spots here.
Looks like he is staying up and away from everybody. He is lost. He's back to 9th now, so he's lost a lot of positions here. It's not good for him. Looks like they get it sorted out up front, though. The 98 continuing to lead Brandon. Up behind him, the 37, I almost said 36. 37's looking to really run that high line. Not able to get a good run, though. Here comes the 93 of Burke to the inside. Almost clips him, as he'll keep it straight, though.
Yeah, the 37's going to go back to the outside, see if he can't generate a run on Brandon Sanfilippo. He's not going to be able to this time. Right now, Sanfilippo's going to be unable to stay in tow of Andrew Teff. You got Burke right there, Kirby Wayne Scott.
Burke is running that higher line. We've got about 3 or 4 people running that in kind of upper lane. Looks like they're getting a pretty good exit, too, is this, the 2 truck here of Rick Kennedy trying to go too wide and get a position. Not able to get it, though. But he's going to try to get it. Barry Nelson running that high line so he can get a good run off the corner. Looks like he will. He'll be able to draft off a Hess just a little bit, too, because of that.
Yeah, I believe Hess and Dennis Kane's going to be the first 2 trucks that was on pit road. It's going to have the 4 freshest tires. And right now, that Kyle Hess truck is... He was getting a lot of pressure put onto him by the 196 of Nelson.
He was bouncing off the wall there. He lost some positions because of that. The 50, the 196. Oh, so close down the backstretch. These 2 are going to race hard now. 196 is just going to stick to that high line. I think that's really the only option that he has, too, because of that. You get boxed in when you run high.
Yeah, you do. You just know where to go. They're looking to go 3 wide right here, though. I'm glad they figured that out.
2 looks like he washed up, or sorry, the 1 washed up a little bit as the 2 will get on by. But still racing hard. See the 10 running the high line. That's Wayne Scott all the way up top. Trying to hold on to this position.
Tell you, there's a truck on the move right now, and he goes by the name of Dennis Kane. He's really letting those 4 new Goodyear tires really shine and go to work for him. He's made up tons of spots since the restart, and he's now up inside the top 5. It looks he's like as if he's in 4th. He's going to be battling for 3rd here as these trucks enter turns 3 and 4.
for the 37. Oh, the 37 gets in the wall there. It's going to make him lose about 3 or 4 spots here. Actually, he's able to kind of jam up the field behind him. He only loses about 2 spots there. So 2 will go on by him. But Teft able to keep it up out front here. Let's see what else he can do.
Yeah, I tell you, that 37's actually done that a couple of times tonight, Bryce. We've seen him do it. And so that truck's loose.
She is way, way up out of the groove there. I don't know how he could have beat that truck up so much, but evidently he's done something to it as, there we go, the 707, or around the 707, I should say. It looks like it was the 30, and the 1 clips somebody else behind, and that will cause a big wreck here. It was the 101 that got clipped. It was Brian LaPratt and Kyle Hess, it looks like. It started way before that. '30s. Just loose overall. And the 707, I don't know what was going on there. And then the 101 looks like he clips a wall. Or sorry, the 1 clips the wall, comes down and hits the 101. That'll put 2 guys with the meatball, 1 with the black flag. Will be Kelly's. His car is, or his truck is destroyed from where he is.
Yeah, I find it a little strange that we see some loose race trucks there, especially the Kyle Hess truck. I mean, he was on pit road. I would have thought that he would have been able to have gotten tires, or he would at least put tires on. So him, the 37, had that big checkup off of exit there. See some loose handling race trucks. This pit road's about to be busy.
Kane and Nelson are going to stay out here. So it's interesting to see how they'll fare. If you're one of these guys that just pit, what do? Do you take fuel? Do you take 2 tires? I mean, this is... It gets interesting here now on the strategy call. Like it's 4 tires and fuel for everybody on pit road. No 2-tire stops. Besides McGraw. McGraw looks like he took 2 tires possibly with a 7-second pit stop. I just don't know how this is going to go for these 2 up here. I'm interested to see how well they can get off on the restart. If they can even get going, that is, without getting run over.
Yeah, it's been an interesting race so far. Now, the guy that was on the move before that caution come out was the Ford Dennis Kane. So we know he's on 4 fresh Goodyears. So, you know, him and Nelson staying out here is not a bad call. But now that's going to put about 11 lap fresher tires lined up behind him. Is going to be, I believe, Andrew Teff. So you had 3 stay out: Kane, Nelson, Chavez, and then you got Teff, Sanfilippo, Kennedy, Sizemore, Burt, Carter, Wayne Scott to round out the top 10. So let's see how important tires are going to be, right? Because now we're going to have about 11 lap fresher tires on Teff's truck in comparison to the 3 that chose to stay out.
And I don't know if the clean air is going to mean that much. I have a hard time believing that it will, but, you know, never say never. I should say it to myself. But really, the main thing that they need to focus at is getting restarted and not getting just ran through. Now, if they can do that and get going, and even if they do lose some spots, you just kind of stop the bleeding as best as you can. Pace truck will have its lights off here as it will get ready to pull into pit road. As Kane will control the start. As the green flag is in the air, we are underway here. Kane gets going good. Let's see how well these guys can get going behind.
Yeah, so Dennis Kane's going to get a really, really good restart here. Barry Nelson's going to go to the outside like he's done all night long. So is Andrew Teft. And then you're going to have a side-by-side battle for what's going to be 4th, 5th, 6th on back. Now we're 3 wide.
Oh, there goes the 93 sideways, and I think he's able to save it. The 37, nope, there we go. There's another wreck. I saw the 93 at the last second get really, really loose. That will bring out the 7th caution here, 60 laps in. The 93 of Burke. Can't tell if he got tagged there by the 37. 37 got ran into, and that got him loose, and then down into the 66, and the 93 just can't escape all that carnage. It actually looks like he can get away with almost little to no damage on that truck. Maybe some fenders that just need to be pulled out there possibly for him.
Yeah, Bryce, again, take away everything I said at the start of this race. I mean, this has been wild. This is our 7th caution of the night, and we're only 60 laps in, and so this is very unlike the Racers Elite group here. Typically, these races are known for, you know, really long green flag runs, and so I'm kind of surprised at what we're seeing. One thing to note, though, this is just kind of a one-off kind of special thing that Andrew Teft's put on. There's no impact to any points or anything of the such, so it is just kind of a...
Yeah, and I definitely think that does change how people drive. And it's not super serious, but I mean, they're not going out there and taking each other out by any means, but I think it does change a lot.
Yeah, I don't disagree, right? I mean, if you're out running for points and trying to win a points championship, then yeah, right, you're gonna race a little bit different. Now, we seen last night in one interview that we did last night with Blake Davis, he told us, in fact, yeah, I was driving a little bit aggressive, maybe a little bit too aggressive, but he was on the verge of points and he was tight and he was trying to do what he could to make it in for, you know, the playoff for the Super Speedway Series. And so I agree, right? Early on in a season, you might not see this type of racing, but these one-off deals like this, drivers are going to be way more amped up, way more aggressive than usual than they usually are. And I think that's just what we're seeing here tonight.
Had some people come down pit road, none really of note, however, so we'll kind of just keep it up here. A little bit past halfway, they're close to halfway now. So they will need to get about 8 more laps to be halfway on that. The lights should go off on the pace truck here. And I think they do, so they will go green next time by. Looks like Kane will restart on the bottom. Nelson will restart up top. Biggest mover so far is actually Kane. He's up 17 positions, so he qualified 18th, so had to start back in the pack. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers that are out of the race. So only 15 are left on the track. Really, 13 are in contention for the win.
Bryce, has Connor Zillage won the Xfinity race yet?
No, they are under caution. Actually, they're in overtime right now. That's kind of weird that you're just already waiting. Like, everybody's just expecting Zillage to win because he's won 5. How many has he won straight now?
6,
I was gonna say it's a lot. Well, technically, he won Daytona, but that was Parker that basically ran the good majority of the race for him. But Pace Truck does pull in here. Kane will control the restart here as the green flag is in the air. We are back underway. Kane gets a good restart. He's off and away. Nelson, though, might have enough to get to the outside of him there. Like he's not going to be able to. See if Nelson can mount a pretty good run coming off of 4.
Yeah, one thing we've not got to see yet is how these 11-lap pressure tires for Andrew Teft is going to line up with Dennis Kane and his group. And right now, you can see Teft's battling for second. He's going to be looking for the lead here in a couple laps. In fact, it ain't going to take a couple laps. He's looking for it now.
Yeah, it looks like those tires just playing such a big factor there as Nelson gets the wall. Kane almost got it a little bit too. It's like we're looking at Brandon coming to the inside. He's got Wayne Scott coming up behind him. Well, it gets a little bit tight there. Plows just a tad. Nelson going to have a pretty decent run so he can get to the outside of Kane. It looks like he's not going to be able to quite just yet.
Yeah, so this is a strategy call, right? Those drivers came down pit road a couple of cautions ago. And, you know, we talked about it, Bryce. Was it worth, you know, wasting a set of tires right then and there? And we talked about they had 5 sets, but they didn't come when Teft and the rest of this group did. And that's kind of the difference maker right now. The battle for second rages on. Sanfilippo 3rd, Fennell 4th. Kyle Hess. I don't know where he come from, but our dude's working the top 5. And I think he was involved in that last caution or the caution before.
Team looks like he's going to go and shoot to the bottom now. Try to get that lead. Brandon going to run the high line on Kane. But one thing, though, Nelson, he's got a little bit older tires than Teft. But he's actually matching what Teft ran. He actually ran faster that lap running that high line. So maybe that high line is, you know, that big of a factor here that they can just run it and get a good run coming down the backstretch here as Brandon's going to try to get to the outside of Dennis, and looks like he will get that position. Cuts his nose off just a little bit there.
Yeah, and he's going to try to bring Kyle Hess with him. Kyle Hess has a full head of steam and, in fact, had to check up to not run over Sanfilippo. But right now, the last lap by, not this last one, but the one before, Barry Nelson did, in fact, lay down his fastest lap of the race.
I was going to say,
I looked over right now.
Sorry about that. I looked over and I saw that Nelson did run a faster lap than him. He was 2/10 slower that last one, but before he was faster. See what he runs this time. That could just be jumping the cushion here, and I think he may have jumped it a little bit too much. We did see him get damage earlier on, which could be a factor. If you think he got it fixed, though, but yeah, he was 3/10 slower that lap, so maybe tires are coming in to benefit him at this moment of the race, possibly for him.
Yeah, and the guys on the move right now within the top 5 is Brandon Sanfilippo, Kyle Hess. They're racing around these guys that have a little bit older tires. Now the battle for second's going to rage on. Brandon's going to have a run off of 4. Looks like he'll be able to clear here. He's going to have some help from Dennis Kane. In fact, he will. So that's going to put him up into the second position. But this battle right here for 4th, 5th, 6th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th is tight.
Everybody's getting on the wall. They are all running high. No one is not nicking it. I'm not sure. Update, Connor Zilich is leading the race, but he missed turn 1, but he did take the Joker lap like he was supposed to, and he still has a lead, so I'm not sure if they'll penalize him or not. I don't think they will, but look at Hess. Hess, he's all over everybody. He is trying 3 wide. He's trying to get anywhere he can to get in that spot.
Yeah, right now, he's just kind of stuck where he is. I mean, you talked about it earlier with this track being multi-groove, these trucks running side by side right now. We know he has a faster truck than Kane, than Nelson right now, but he just has nowhere to go. So the only option he has is to try to push Kane out enough. In fact, he was able to try to clear these 2 guys, make short work of them if he can. That's where patience comes into play. You got to have patience.
The only thing I think with Hess is, you know, the more that you have to deal with these lap cars, the more it's going to put wear in your tires, and the tires will eventually even out. They're able to defend. Look at Nelson all the way up in the wall, actually going so high up there. That was a gutsy move by him, but Teft is able to run out to a pretty big lead right here at the moment. Hess is in a hornet's nest back here. This is from 3rd to, I think, 8th at the moment.
Yeah, and what a battle we have in this group right here. This is some of the best racing we've seen all night. You see Wayne Scott get a little bit loose on exit right there. These trucks are, a little bit ill handling right now. I've seen a lot more looser trucks than I've seen more than anything, and I think that's what's providing really good racing for us right now. Whoa, what a move by Fennell. Holy.
These guys are going for it. I think Burke was loose off of 4, and that got him almost down in the dirt. Kane's trying to run that highlight. Brandon's not able to get away from Hess. Kane's actually, with how old of tires that he has, he's actually managed pretty well to not bleed a lot of positions. Update, Connor Zillis just won the Xfinity race. Who would have guessed? But Kane, he's not bled like I thought he was. He's actually done pretty well.
Yeah, he has. In fact, I mean, he's doing it the right way, right? Like he's doing what he can to hold on positions. Now, much like you said, at some point, the longer this green flag run goes on, these tires will start to even out. It's odd to say that, but it is true, and it will happen. And if he can get to that point somewhere around 5th, 8th position, where those tires even out, he'll have some really good track position. He's battling right now with Wayne Scott and Fennell.
Look at how I'm going to look at Kane's times. His times were 2/10 slower that lap, but I want to see what they truly even out at, because I think that he's managing them to a certain extent. I'm just curious how it goes for him. Excuse me.
So no change up front. Still the same 3-4 cars. We've got Test, Sanfilippo, Hess, Carter, Wayne Scott. That's the top 5. Right now, Wayne Scott 6th, Terry Fennell 7th, Sean Burke 8th, Barry Nelson 9th, Steve Sizemore. That's going to round out the top 10.
I just saw McGraw come back down pit road. Now, one thing I do want to look at is, I think they'll pit around lap 100, and then that will get them to the... I think, yeah, that'll get them to the end. I don't know. Do you come at lap 100? I'm guessing that, and that's me guessing that it's going to be, fuel will last that long. It'll last on 50 laps, which I think it will with the 100% fuel.
Really tight racing right here with the 707 and the 1. Or sorry, not the 1, the 88.
I say I was kind of confused. I believe you're talking about the 08?
08. Is it 08?
Yeah, it looks like the 88 from here, but it's not. It's 08 on that truck. That is Barry Nelson trying to make his way up here. Fastest car on the track has been Brandon by just a little bit. Let's see what he runs. He's actually a little bit slower that lap. I think Teft is married to the bottom at this point, so it's gonna be hard to get him off the bottom.
Yeah, it is. And in fact, we know that's where Andrew likes to run. I got to conversate with him after a 3rd place finish at Nashville Super Speedway on Thursday night. And the one thing that he told us during that interview was how he likes to run the bottom. He wants to stick to the bottom. Feels like he can save tires there, and he's one of the best that does it, especially here in Racers Elite. We see him up front all the time, just about every single night. We see him within the top 3, top 5, and yeah, it's going to be hard to get him off the bottom if Sanfilippo catches him here.
Brandon cut off a little bit. I think he cut off about 1/10 that lap on Teft. Everybody's running. We got bottom. We got the first groove. Bottom a little bit higher groove. There, 2 of them getting the wall. That was Wayne Scott and the 37, but they just keep it going. It's who got into it harder there, pretty much.
We should have a counter for how many times Carter gets that 37 truck into the wall on exit of 4. I'm going to say that's probably the 6th or 7th time tonight that, whoa, what a beautiful save by the white truck back there. I'm not sure who that was, but that's probably the 6th or 7th time that he's gotten to that wall on a exit of turn 4.
I believe that was actually Kane there, who was able to save it coming off the corner. This 57 and the 10 though, trying to fight. This is for the 5th position, top 5. As that 50's right on the bottom. That 10 is extremely, extremely loose. He's just going to give way. Davis is coming through. He's a lap down though. But I think Wayne Scott may have made his rear tires mad because that truck is way slow. Actually, he may be coming to pit road here. He is way off the pace. I don't know what's going on with him, if he's just been so hard on the tires or something else like that. But that's not normal to see.
Chris Gaxel's on pit road. I just noticed. So we might see some pit windows start to open. Although, Bryce, I think this is a little bit early, especially if you're, Teft, Brandon Hess, that group there. I think this is still a little bit early. But we are starting to see some takers on pit road.
I don't think that you would short pit here. That'd be a really gutsy call to do. And it just wouldn't make any sense knowing that there is actual tire fall off for these guys. Is the 4.
This battle right here has been a heck of a battle.
So Kane's actually working his way back up here now a little bit. He's running actually even lap time. Some of them are a little bit faster laps than people in front of them. As hello Hess, go ahead and go through the dirt. So guys are getting extremely, extremely loose.
I'm surprised by that, honestly. Watching how this is playing out. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy commentating and being up here and hanging out with you. I kind of wish I was in the truck right now. I ain't gonna lie. Watching these guys have their hands full of these trucks, man, this is fun to watch.
No, actually, let me ask you this. So, when's the last time you ran Charlotte in iRacing?
Monday night when I got the win. You called me to the win Monday night.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That sounds so stupid. So what I think is happening with these guys, I don't know why I didn't even realize that, but what I think is happening with them is they're getting, later on in the run, is really noticeable off of 4, and I think there's actually a tunnel off the exit of 4, and it kind of makes the truck lift a little bit more, and then it kind of packs it back down. I think that's what's causing these guys to get so loose off of it, because if you run high, it definitely does get loose, and it wants to come back down the track on its own.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I'd say you're pretty spot on if you want to know the truth. I mean, honestly, so the exit of 3 and 4 for me here is different than 1 and 2, right? So 3 and 4 has a little bit tighter, like what I would say, pinchier exit off of the track than what the exit of 2 has, and so it's a little bit of stranger exit. I'm seeing Teft start to struggle a little bit loose on exit 2, so. This handling is starting to play a factor. Now, when we ran the Gen 6 here, the Gen 6 car wasn't this loose. So I kind of wish I was in the truck, man. This looks fun.
So I remember when I used to race for a race team that built setups. Every setup was loose, and you talk about loose. Oh my gosh. I mean, you're about spinning out every single lap, but I mean, it had speed for sure, but it was ridiculous. So I'm not somebody. I like loose to a certain extent, but when you're wrecking loose, that kind of is like, oh gosh, oh no. But Kane I'm surprised he's held where he is. He's done a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, and he's starting to work his way back forward. I mean, he's riding 5th right now. He's putting pressure on Carter for 4th. And in fact, you said it earlier though, Bryce. You thought maybe that he was kind of saving by design, and so in fact, he very well could have been doing that, because right now he's looking to take over the 4th spot here.
And the thing with him though is he's going to be on a different pit strategy overall, just because of his fuel and his tires. He pitted on lap 45. Everybody else is 56, 56, 60. So that could work to his benefit, and that could also work against him. It just depends on how the cautions fall, if we do have some more cautions, as we are inside of 40 to go for them, as he's still trying to get by that 37. Looks like he'll finally do that. He'll jump up to that high line. He's staying pretty dedicated to the bottom.
Yeah. So we're inside 40 to go, you said?
Yeah, we're inside 40 to go. We've got 30. What do we have? 35 laps to go now. No, sorry. No, I'm wrong. I'm way wrong. I thought for some reason, yeah. You're right. We're not inside 40 to go as the floor gets really loose. I can't do math. I can't do math apparently.
You're good. You're good. Because I was gonna say if we are inside 40, the pit window is gonna open here in about 5 laps. I would say we're what 45 away from the finish.
40. Sorry, hold on. 30 plus 34. 42 laps away from the finish right now.
Gotcha. So I suspect here in about 7-8 laps, we're going to see the pit road start to get busy. Green flag stops. I think that's going to be enough to get them to the end. So yeah, that's going to put us about lap 100. You called it earlier. Right now, Sanfilippo's closing the gap though, isn't he? He is. He's down to 2.5, less than 2.5. So he's really starting to reel in Andrew Teft. I say that, and Teft jumps out to another half, a little over 2.5. So
I really want to see what Kane does here. With Kane, it'll be interesting.
See, he's trying to chase down who? Kyle Hess now for third. So,
and Hess is right in front of him, and he's been running a little bit slower, a little bit less than a tenth a lap faster than him also.
Well, that just adds drive to the to what you're doing, right? I mean, if you're Dennis Kane, you know that third is just right there in front of you, just on the other side of that country time lemonade looking paint scheme there. I believe that's what that is. And so, and then you can see Hess right there entering. So yeah, it just adds a little bit of extra fuel to the drive. Now you see Wayne Scott, he's going to be on fresh tires. So good job of those guys. Just get up and get out of the way.
At 10. Wayne Scott's already pitted, so he won't have to pit anymore.
Oh, there he comes to pit road and Hess.
Looks like he'll come with Hess at the same time. So I wonder, I think I'm going to keep an eye on Kane here. I think he may be able to save his tires to a certain extent and just be better overall, I think. Because he was running consistent lap times there.
Yeah, the only thing that's really going to trouble his run, or at least a shot to win this thing, if a caution doesn't come out and it stays green, is going to be the track position, right? So, I mean, right now, unless a caution comes out, and I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but I'm going to say this is really Tev's race to lose, if you want to know the truth. I mean, he's got about a 2.7-ish second lead over Brandon Sanfilippo right now, and just overall clean air. I mean, there's no lap traffic in front of him. Uh-oh.
No, what happened? I was trying to look. I don't see anything. What did you see from your view?
Heft got the wall pretty hard there on the exit.
I think I may have looked down for like half a second. I didn't see it.
Yeah, talking about the commentator's curse.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused. I looked down for literally that one corner, and he's going to come down pit road. So I'll rewind it as we'll see where he comes off. But I looked down for literally half a second there. As Brandon, he'll grab the lead now. So we'll see when Brandon comes down pit road. Once Brandon pits, then we'll go and look at the incident with Teft here.
Looked like he just got a little loose off and just got the outside wall. It was going to be on the exit of 4. Sanfilippo is going to stay out. He will assume the lead here. Now, this is a strange call. You know that Teft just had trouble. You was catching him rather quickly. You know you can make it to the end. I believe I wouldn't have let Andrew pit there and got a fresh race truck and 4 tires. I don't know. We'll see how this thing shakes out.
Still waiting for Brandon to come down. He's still out. So is Best. He pitted at lap 6. He said he'll be able to run a little bit longer. Guessing Brandon is going to run it longer than Tef just so he has that tire advantage here because he was only about 2.5 seconds back. So he can't. I think he can make that up on the the tire difference here if he gets a clean pit stop. Tef was 43 seconds. Sorry, 43 seconds on pit road, 15-second pit stop. He, however, is behind Hess. Hess came 4 or 3 laps earlier. Hess is behind Burke. So it definitely is a mix of cars here at the moment trying to vie for their positions late in the race.
Yeah, so you see Hess and company right there. Tef's shortly in tow. But now this so we know 10-lap tires makes a difference. 11-lap tires make a difference. Does 3-lap tires make a difference? We'll see here in, say, 5 or 10 laps.
Tef ran a 30.43 as Brandon's finally going to come down pit road here. That will give a lot of the cars or a lot of the trucks their lap back. A lot of them were a lap down. You got to keep that in mind. See where Brandon merges out, though. I wonder if him staying out a little bit later will hurt his time overall.
Right now, you got Teft entering turn 3. You got Sanfilippo still getting rights put on. They're going to be putting the left sides on. Andrew Teft's coming through 3 and 4. Now he's actually going to be exiting 4. So there's Teft. Sanfilippo is exiting pit road now. So that was the battle for the lead before the green flag cycle. Now we still have some guys on the racetrack. You got Steve Vest. He's still out there. He hasn't pitted yet. But then you got Kyle Hess, Sean Burke.
With the way that Hess is running too, he's got clean air. He doesn't have to deal with traffic. I don't know if these other guys can really do anything. I think Hess may have timed it perfectly.
He very well could have, and he was kind of one of our faster trucks right before the green flag cycle went down and away, or at least was right after that last caution. He was one of the quicker trucks working his way through the field, and might have timed this strategy just right to get on off pit road. Now he's got the lead, and we're going to be down to about, say, 35, 36 to go here.
F ran a 30.18 compared to Hess's 30.39, so he is faster than Hess right now at the moment, and he does have clean air in front of him, so he may be able to catch him. See Kane back here trying to work his way around at the moment too. Looks like Hess is really loose, kind of in the middle of the corner. It looked like it was kicking out on him, so I don't know if he's having to deal with a loose truck right now at the moment, but it definitely did not look steady for him at all.
Yeah, and I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised at how quick the tires is really fading in these trucks, or at least for us to see loose type racing out of these trucks. So, because I mean, he was on pit road at 95. He's only, I mean, that's 10-lap tires. Well, that's about right, Bryce, if you think about it, because Andrew Teff pitted during the one caution, had 11-lap fresher tires, and drove to the front. So, seems about right.
And Hess he is literally foot to the floor. I just went on board there for just a little bit, and I could just hear him. He's only cracking the throttle just a little bit because he is trying to keep up as much speed as possible. They're going to run down Vest here. Vest is not going to. He's really a non-factor at the moment. He will get past, as you see the 196 of Nelson get in the wall just a little bit. He's getting into the wall as the 06 is getting into the wall a lot.
Yeah, the one thing that could help Steve Vest right now would be a caution, and we thought maybe that would have been one, but nonetheless, these guys are going to run him down. They're all three in the same corner with each other now. In fact, that ain't Vest in front of him. That's Wayne Scott in the 10, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Wayne Scott now, as
Yep.
Teft has gotten to this 86, so I think he may get by him here.
Steve's on pit road. That was the 06. Gotcha.
See, Hess was loose up off the corner, trying to get around Wayne Scott. Looks like Teft will go to the outside to get the pass. Can he make it stick, though? It looks like he will not be able to. Hess is going to race him hard here, but Teft, just with the tires, just gets on right by him there. Nothing that Hess can do. Now he's just got to stop the bleeding. He's got to hold his position here from Kane. Don't let Kane catch you. Kane's had a good rebound here. We kind of rolled the dice, staying out the last caution. Bled a little bit, then stopped it, and then actually started gaining again, so he's done a pretty good job.
He has, and in fact, he's put about 6 seconds between him and Brandon Sanfilippo in the 12 truck. So
Biggest mover so far this race. It's tied between Hess and Kane, both for 15 positions so far. So let's see what these guys can do here. One thing that Teft is worried about is this lap traffic up in front of him. He's going to have 2 trucks to get around it. It's like one of them will be Davis, so he's got to keep that in mind. Just don't make any mistakes getting around him. It's Hess, no, sorry, not Hess. Davis and the 13 of Chavez is going to put him a lap down. Kane will get to the inside of Wayne Scott easily. He's got a little bit over 2.5 seconds to Hess with 21 to go, so there is a chance that he will possibly catch him. Ran a little bit faster the last lap. Might be a little bit slower this lap. No, he's still faster. So Hess is bleeding time. So I think Kane will catch him before this race is over. See him kind of lurking down that back stretch right now. But all eyes are on Teft. But I'm going to keep an eye on Kane here for just a little bit.
yeah, right now, one of the faster trucks on the racetrack is Dennis Kane. Now he can see that 86 of Kyle Hess just right there in front of him.
Right now, all he probably sees is just a little green blob right now at the moment, but it is getting closer.
Yeah, so now it's just a matter of hitting the marks, right? You got to hit your marks, you got to execute. We're in the latter part of this race. We're coming to near 20 to go, 21 to go.
Hess is getting a little gutsy. He's got in the wall there coming off of 4. So he doesn't need to be doing that. I didn't want to cut you off there when I saw him get into it. He didn't get into it too hard, but that definitely did hurt his lap time. Actually, no, it didn't hurt it that much. Still ran a 31:53. 31:47, right, compared to Kane. Kane was about less than a tenth faster.
Yeah, and Sanfilippo's starting to close the gap on Kane even, so 20 laps to go. This is going to be a wild finish. I mean, we'll see where this thing shakes out, but
I'm more interested in Kane. I think it's kind of write the check for Teft, but I want to see if Kane can catch Hess now, because I really think he can.
well, I like the lines he's running, right? I mean, I go back to Monday night when I ran my Gen 6 here, and so yeah, I like what he's doing. He's running some, but they got loose on exit right there. I would try to move my entry up just a little bit to counterpart that somewhat. And I would probably move to the middle high side here, at least in 1 and 2, to see if I couldn't carry more momentum. In fact, right there's Hess. Yeah, he's gaining on him quick, Bryce.
See what Hess can do here. Kind of hold off Kane. He is definitely gaining time on him. He's got it up under almost a second now. pretty much a second at this moment. He ran 5 tenths faster that last lap. 3 tenths faster that lap. So he is gaining a lot of time on him. 2 different lines. Hess has moved up a little bit. See where the 4 is running. I think he's running up off the bottom just a tad too.
Yeah, I think if the 4 was to move up just a little bit more and open that entry in the 3 and 4, just like that, I think that he would be able to have a little bit better drive off. Now, the problem is with the 4 is he's getting to the apron really quick, to that white line really, really quick in 3 and 4. And I think if he would delay that just a little bit, he'd get a better run off, and I think that would help improve his lap times. But
I was going to kind of say the same thing, that because I really noticed that last lap that he just went straight to the bottom, and that's just not good for him overall tire-wise. That's really going to cook the tires, and once they don't like you, it's not a lot of fun from that point on for him. So we'll just see how that goes.
yeah, and now Sanfilippo's caught Kane.
Yeah, and Brandon, he does have really, really fresh tires compared to these 2 guys in front of him. He has lap 102 tires on that.
Look at see how loose that truck is off the exit right there, Bryce. That's what you said yourself. That was what you was about to mention. That you got to open up those entries, right? Enter a little bit higher, drive that exit off a little bit straighter. That truck is out of control right now for Dennis Kane.
No question if Kane's giving it all he's got, because he is. But tires just going away. You can only drive so hard with the tires that you got until they literally just don't have any more grip for you, and they just cannot handle the car or the power that you want to put down. It's just going to start slipping everywhere on you.
Yeah, now see Sanfilippo right there. Did you see that entry into 3 and 4 and that exit off? He opened up that entry just like we was talking about that Dennis Kane needed to do. And look at that run he was able to generate to get past Kyle Hess there to move into second. And so let's see if he does it again in 3 and 4. This lap truck here may play a little bit of a dividend to that.
I think that'll be.
But man, what an entry into 3 and 4 he had.
This will be a little bit of a throwaway lap here for Brandon, because I think the 196 of Nelson did ruin his exit a lot there.
Yes, the 196 smoked the exit.
He ran a 3165.
Yeah, really opens that entry. He's going to get a good drive off. Yeah, that's what we were talking about with Dennis. Let's see if he opens this entry up here.
Yeah, it looks like he lifted at the NASCAR sign there going into 3 and 4. I actually want to see if he does it again going into the corner if I get. Yes, he's definitely a lot later than everybody else. Looks like this corner he's going to run basically the seam. 3 and 4s looks like that's where he's basically nailing his whole line getting into the corner.
Yeah, really wide open entry. Yeah, nice job by Brandon. That's kind of the line we were talking about. But I tell you right now, this guy here, he's just put on a show tonight.
Teft is coming to 8 to go here. Led a decent majority of this race. He qualified second. It might get interesting here around these two. This is Kane and Hess. 2 trucks that are handling horribly. One of them has no tires in the rear. Hess is plowing. He gets tight. Now, one thing, too, that I don't think people realize, it is so annoying when the car is tight loose. You're trying to get it to turn, and then when it comes off the corner, it wants to just snap on you. That's what it looks like Kane's dealing with. As Hess is going to get up on that high line. I think that's going to be the smart move for Hess, is just get up on that high line and just don't put a lot of wheel into it. But Kane is driving that thing. Oh, my Lord, we got a caution here.
Wow.
Blake Davis.
Yeah, you can see that right front.
Oh, he get below the apron there? Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, he just got the apron, then correcting it, still trying to correct it, just pounds that inside wall, goes back up to the outside, and I don't think he's got any turn after that, and just stops below the apron. He's still rolling. Oh, Lord. Tef will come down pit road. Brandon's going to stay out. Strategy, strategy, strategy.
That might have been okay if there would have been other cars stay out there with Brandon. I was
going to say there's not a lot of cars on the lead lap, so that's going to hurt Brandon here. I think Brandon's going to have to hope for a quick caution and that we get a green-white checkered on him. That's what will benefit him the most.
Now, there's two guys that this helps. We kept an eye on them. It's going to be the 86 Kyle Hess and the 4 Dennis Kane. So we're going to have 30 lap old tires out front to restart this race. So you don't want to line up behind him. So I think we'll see how this shakes out and who's around San Filippo. And I think these are going to be a host of lap cars. So these cars are actually going to have to drop back, I believe, and that's going to move Tef to the outside. So Hess is going to be, that's going to be the worst case scenario for Kyle Hess, is to have to line up behind that 12 and those 30 lap old tires.
I do not think this is going to end up good for Brandon at all.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, we know 11 lap old tires matter, you know, or at least 11 lap fresher tires matter in comparison to the older tires. So, you know, Brandon's going to have just about 30 laps when we go back green on his tires. He was last on pit road at 102. So he's going to have 29, 30 laps on these tires. You got to watch Will spin here out.
I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he'll be able to get going. I really don't think he will. Tef's gonna have it. Even if he does, Tef is gonna be able to, to stay with him, and he's gonna have such higher grip in the corners that he'll just be able to just basically keep it flat in the corner. He'll just be able to floor. I don't know if Brandon will be able to.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think right now what you got to do is, if you're the 4 truck, you need to pay attention to that 12, and when that 12 launches, you got to go. Put everything on the back end of that 98 that you possibly can to see if you can't help generate a run through turns 1 and 2 to clear down the back straightaway and give yourself a chance to try to win this race. That would be my strategy in this scenario.
We'll just have to see how it goes. It's all eyes are going to be on Brandon if he can even get a good restart with these old tires. I mean, they're not super old. They've got 20-ish laps on it, so it's not like it's horrible. But Pace Truck will pull off here as the restart zone is in effect, and Brandon blinks, and we are back green here. Tef gets a good restart, though. I know that blink messed with everybody on that strategically timed. Brandon's going to try to get ahead here, but Tef's going to try to hold on to that quarter panel. Not going to be able to get to it. I don't know why did he just give him the outside? He did. He just gave Tef the outside. He was clear up out there. So I think that may be a nail in the coffin for Brandon. I'll have to see what Hess can do here.
Yeah, so now Teft, Hess, Kane is all cleared. So now it's going to be full bore, right? There's no sense in saving tires. We got less than 5 laps to go now, I believe, right? So...
and Hess is all over Teft. He's trying to get to the inside of him, see if he does it this lap. He just bail on the high line. Looks like he will. He's to diamond that corner off. One thing I'd be worried about is getting loose. As Hess looks like he gets a pretty good run off the high line here. Going to look to the inside of Tef. Now back to the outside. He can just get that quarter panel. He's got to just gun it on this high line here because he is to the outside of Teft. Got to keep your foot in it as long as you can, even if Teft slides up, so you can do the crossover move here on him going down the backstretch. They're coming to 2 to go as Hess is going to look to the inside of Andrew Teft. He's going to try to slide job here, pushing Teft up a little bit. No harm, no foul, though, as they're going to race off of 4 coming to the white flag. Look at Kane coming back here. These two battle side by side. It's slowing them down, and it's going to bring Kane into the picture now. But Andrew Teft and Kyle Hess battling for the lead here side by side with each other. Where does Kane go if he has any place to go? Does he shoot it 4 wide? Does he stick with Teft? What does he do? Hess has got to just gun it in this corner, keep his foot down. He's going to slide up in front of Teft here. Can Teft pull the crossover move coming off 4? Looks like he's going to have a shot at it here. It will be down to the line as Hess will nick the wall just a little bit, and it will be Andrew Teft who will take home the win.
Wow, what a crossover move, Bryce. Holy.
I'm going to say it may have worked if Hess didn't barely nick the wall coming off of 4 there at the end. I think that's what really hurt him there.
What a crossover move. Dude, what a finish. Oh, my. Hess gave everything he had right there.
Watch Teft do a burnout here. Thought the wind was going to slip away from him, but he was able to keep it.
What a finish. That was an insane finish, man. That was a really good green white checker finish. That was awesome.
Teft still burning it down. Teft is definitely giving it all he's got for the burnout here. I think he may be done with that, so I'll pull up the race results. I'll go to a blimp shot here. We'll bring in the 3rd place driver in Dennis Kane, if I can find him. There he is. Hey, Dennis, this is Bryce and Brandon in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Man, so you saw that unfold coming down to the finish line. You couldn't find a way around him, though. But you pulled a little bit of a strategy early on, and it seemed to have paid off for you. But how was the race for you overall, though, man? Because you did pretty good overall tonight.
I knew it was gonna be a long race, so I wanted to start off pacing myself. Hoping that we get some long green flag runs. So I wanted to start towards the back to qualify. Started to have some cautions. I took that tire strategy. Where a bunch of people didn't pit. I think it was the first one on new tires. That got me to the front. Another caution came out, but I didn't pit. I had to hold my race position. I didn't get swallowed up as bad as I thought I would. I think I dropped back to like around 8th. But then after the tires evened out, I drove back up into the top 5. And so like as the race was going, I kind of was wondering, what would have happened if I could have stayed on the same tire schedule as everybody else, because we had the tires to spare. Then that last caution came out, and well, here we go, brand new ball game.
And, so did you expect those tires to even out like they did? Because I thought you were going to drop a pretty decent amount. Then you kind of stopped the bleeding, then you started gaining there. So were you surprised by that?
I was actually. I was surprised when I started catching back up to them guys. I was like, oh, all right. And that's what made me think, what if I was on the same tire schedule as everybody else with the long run speed that I had? Maybe I could have pulled this off.
How was it dealing with these tires once they wore? Because it seemed like a lot of people were getting loose as the run went on.
You were tight in the middle of the corner if you didn't hit the bottom. 1 and 2, you could run the middle. pretty decent and sliding around there. But 3 and 4, if you missed the bottom, you were getting real tight. But then if you ran the bottom, you were going to be loose coming out as well. You were kind of sliding the truck coming out. So it was fun. The setup was fun. They're really racy. You definitely had to take care of your tires.
Yeah, it definitely was a interesting race. But before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Sure, I give a shout out, of course, to Racers Elite, Mid Atlantic Racing, Shenko Custom Designs, Night Owl Racing, Racers Elite Network, Chicken Coop Racing, the boys. Uh, so there we go. I mean, everybody, you guys for broadcasting. Let's keep it going.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go. Good job coming home third tonight, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Dennis Kane, the third place driver. We will bring in the second place driver in Kyle Hess. Hey, Kyle, this is Bryson Brandon in the booth. Got a copy, man?
Yeah, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you come home just a little bit short there. Tried the slide job move and it didn't work. What was going through your head those last 4 laps? Because it was going to be between you and Tef there.
Um, there wasn't really much going on. I was just enjoying the race because this is my first race in probably a few months. Because I kind of got burned out on iRacing, so I deleted everything off my computer. And today, I put everything back on and got my membership going again. And the only thing I really had in my head for this race tonight was just to have some fun. Not, I wasn't really thinking about coming home in the top 3. So
So how hard was it to pass? Because it seemed like it was relatively kind of easy because it was a multi-group track here tonight, it looked like.
it was kind of hard. It just off turn 4, it gets really tight going into like the tri-oval, and you get really loose. So going through those sections of the track be really gnarly. I would try to set them up in turn 1 and get a run through the back stretch, so maybe I can get down into them in 3 and 4 on the bottom instead of being on the top. But if someone was next to you, it was almost like it was like an arrow pull. It'd kind of slow you up. It made me tight, is what it did. It made it really hard to turn, so I'd have to lift a little bit. So I'd say overall it was probably about a medium to medium hard on getting passing done tonight.
You were driving the wheels off that thing. I saw multiple times, and me and Brandon both saw it. Like, you were kicking that rear end out. You were driving it for all that you had, but
Yeah, it was definitely loose for sure. There was a few times I thought I was getting ready to lose it. Be honest, there were some of them I was like, "Yep, here comes the wall," and I don't know how I kept it straight.
yeah, it was. I did not think you were going to be able to keep that car up under you sometimes, but before I
I
let
didn't
you,
either, but I really didn't.
well,
So,
before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
man, I just thank Andrew in the league. I don't really have any sponsors or anything. Like I said, I'm fresh back in it, so it's just me right now. I might be looking for a team for one of these next seasons that come up, but for right now, I'm probably just going to try to run these free races and on the weekend until the next season starts.
All right, man.
So maybe we'll see what happens between now and then.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go, but good job coming home second tonight, man.
Man, thank you. I appreciate it, and thank y'all for putting on the broadcast and taking y'all's time out to do it, man.
As that was Kyle Hess, the second place driver. We will bring in the race winner in Andrew Teft. Hey, Andrew, this is Bryson Brandon in the booth. Got a copy, man?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, you come home with the win there. Caution with 5 to go. What was going through your head at that point in time? Did you think that kind of like, oh, this is great. This is where I lose the race because of something that happens here?
Yeah, kind of. I'm not sure why the 11 couldn't roll back to pit road there and decided to draw a caution, but I'm glad it worked out in the end. I guess we wouldn't have had that exciting finish if it didn't happen. So want to thank Kyle for racing me clean, and yeah, that was just a ton of fun.
Hey, so you led a good majority of this race, so you really didn't have to pass that many cars. But how did this truck handle tonight, especially as the tires got worn down?
took a good while for any kind of handling problems to start popping up. I would say for the first third of the run, I could just glue it to the paint on the bottom, and then maybe toward the middle of the run, it would start pushing a little bit, and then on really old tires, you'd start to spin them off a little bit, and right before my last pit stop, or second to last pit stop, not counting the one that happened under yellow at the end there. I actually snapped loose off of four a little bit and hit the wall. Not sure if you guys caught that, but had my fast repair and was able to just pit that lap and use that and not really lose a bunch of time. So just a little edgy on the very late run.
Yeah, so what was going through your head really that last turn, especially because, you know, Hess went for the slide job and it worked for a little bit. Then you got in the wall coming off the exit there.
Yeah, it seemed like he was really sending it off in there, and I don't blame him. We're both going for it. So just kind of predicted that he might drift up and decided to kind of lift early and just turn down. And it would have been close if he didn't scrape the wall. I think that's what really got him there. It might have been about even coming to the line if he didn't do that. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
All right, man. Well, before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank, any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for helping out in the booth, and our servicemen, women, friends, family, team, everybody that tunes in to watch, shows up to race, and I want to wish everybody a happy Labor Day. And if you're interested in checking us out, head on over to racerselite.com for all our info. And if you don't mind doing us a favor, just hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel homepage. We're trying to get to 1,000 now. We hit our last goal of 500, so now we're doubling that goal and trying to get to 1,000 by December or so. So everyone helps, we appreciate it, and it's free. Just got to push that one button.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go, but good job coming home with the win tonight, man.
Thanks, guys.
Andrew Teft, the race winner. Top three was Teft, Hess, and Kane. How was that race from your point of view, Brandon? Because it started out sloppy, and then it looks like they settled down there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thrown off with the beginning part of tonight's race, but I'm gonna tell you what, that's one of the most spectacular finishes that we've got to see. Yet calling races together up here, Bryce. So, congratulations to Teft, Hess, and Kane for bringing home podium finishes tonight. But yeah, all in all, kind of a sloppy start, but man, what a finish we got to witness at the end of this thing.
Yeah, it was definitely a good finish there. I really thought that slide job was going to work, but evidently just cut a little too short there at the end for Hess. But he gave it a heck of a drive. But I'll be at Darlington tomorrow, leaving at 11. Hopefully, Kyle Larson does not wreck out, and I drove 5 hours for nothing. Now that I say that, it'll probably happen. I'll be so mad if he does that. But hopefully, y'all have a good night. I'm not going to keep you all here any longer.